Hello and welcome to The Walking Dead Wednesday with myself and
Poppy. Sorry, you usually say my name.
I know I normally say your name. That's why I got you to say it this time.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Poppy.
and and today we are going to be reviewing episode 22, Faith. What do we think of the episode?
I loved this episode.
I thought it was fucking
so good.
brilliant.
Oh,
I think it might be one of my favourite episodes this season.
it was so good.
There was just so many moments of just satisfaction.
It was so good.
And just it was just incredible. Like there was very few moments where I was like, this was
Boring.
shit, this was boring.
Yeah.
So I think that was really good.
I really liked it.
The episode started with a Negan introduction, which
I thought was funny. Because it just kind of just was like, this is everyone that Negan's killed.
yeah, no,
Anyway,
literally.
moving on.
It was really weird. I thought it was really weird they decided to go down this is who Negan's killed, because
Yeah.
they've been doing such a good job of like redeeming
yeah.
him that it feels weird that in one of his final episodes they would want to be like, oh yeah, remember he killed all these people? Well, now we're just going to make you hate him for this episode.
To be fair, they kind of had to do that because that's what him and Ezekiel kind of don't agree on.
Yeah, that was a conversation that happened between Ezekiel and Negan this episode, because obviously they were trying to work out how they could escape, because obviously they're now in Alexandria, which is still the dumbest decision I think the Commonwealth has made ever,
Now,
because
all
they're
I'm
in
saying
their
is,
domain.
In an episode that we've in one of our episodes that we've filmed, I said how they would get back in,
Oh yeah, and they got
and
back
they
in
literally
easily.
did that exact
They
thing.
literally did. It was
They were
so
like,
funny.
Daryl and Connie were like, "We'll go to the sewer," and I'll be like,
Yeah.
Are you
They
done?
they literally got back in so easily. It was unbelievable.
Literally.
And that was just very funny. We'll get back to that storyline in a little bit, because let's talk about Negan and that whole
and his
storyline.
vibes.
So Negan was one of the guys that they were like, oh look, it's that guy, and then very fortunately they were like, the guy who kidnapped this person, or like held Max hostage.
Right.
And I was like, oh, now I
Ah.
remember this guy. I don't remember what episode it was from, but it was from like the second batch of episodes. But it was a really good moment, I thought, because it was like, oh, this character's come back. We get a little bit of a tying up loose ends. Oh, this is where he went. And he wasn't very keen to join the cause to like help the Alexandrians escape or overthrow.
Who the fuck are you talking about?
The guy,
The stormtrooper guy.
no, the guy that held Max hostage,
The
and then
ginger guy.
I think he was Ginger, yeah.
The guy.
No, that was the warden.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about the guy that
The B-Tech Anakin.
yes, B-Tech Anakin.
Okay.
B-Tech Anakin. Yes. I know exactly
Thank
who you
you.
mean by that. So yeah, there was that. And then Negan went to go see Ezekiel, and Ezekiel basically put him in his place. But I thought it was a bit unfair.
I mean, it's not really, is it?
I don't know. I feel like how long has it been since the incident? It's
Yeah,
been
but
about
that doesn't
7,
matter.
8 years. And as much as Ezekiel can still be angry, I don't think he has as much right to be angry as like other communities.
I feel like out of everyone, Kingdom lost the most.
Kingdom did lose the most,
And
but
I feel
equally,
like he has a right to be angry still.
I'm very much of the opinion that yes, Negan was in charge, but Negan didn't sanction any of this.
How does Ezekiel know that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like Negan should have been like, listen, I had control over the situation, but these people acted on their own behalf. Because like I can understand why Maggie's pissed off, because Negan actively killed her husband.
True.
But
But
everything that happened to the kingdom had very little to do with Negan.
yeah, but they were Negan's people.
No, I get that. I
you
get
know?
that.
And Negan kind of gave them the power of, you can do this if you want, do whatever you want, you're in charge.
Yeah, no, I do appreciate that. I think
Like Negan a lot. Ezekiel lost like Shiva, his entire
Yeah.
army got shot down. Benjamin died. Henry died.
I forgot about Benjamin.
Oh,
Henry
no.
wasn't his fault though.
No, but Benjamin's death is the most tragic death.
I don't really remember it that well.
Oh, it's tragic. It's actually
It's kind of in that black hole of season 7 where I don't really remember what happened.
Season 7 is traumatic, and that's one of the episodes where I literally am like, it's so traumatic.
But I think Negan's proved that he was a horrible person, but he isn't now. And I think every time he does something, it's like he's proving himself. There was a moment later on in the episode because basically the warden caught him. The warden brought him to his office and was like, "Look, we found this map. You need to find out because you used to be a leader or whatever. You need to find out. You need to find out who is the one spearheading this rebellion." And obviously Negan's the one spearheading this rebellion. So he was like, "Yeah, fine." And then after his argument with Ezekiel, he went back to the office and was like, "I've got a name for you." And I thought he was going to rat out Ezekiel.
Then. And that's because he was staring at Ezekiel, and then I was like, if he's just said that, all of his redemption is gone. Sorry.
I was sitting there in that moment, and I was like, damn, if he does this, I will be really angry. Like, really angry. Yeah. And I didn't want to be angry at Negan, because I've spent so much time...
I've tried so hard to like him.
I've tried so hard to like him.
If he did that,
that would be it.
Yeah.
The last straw. Yeah. But he didn't, and he gave his own name up to the warden, and essentially was willing to let himself die so that everybody else, they wouldn't suspect that anyone else was plotting. But then the whole thing worked against them.
That he was going to walk out.
Oh no! There's something that happened before that, because the warden went back on their deal and dragged Annie in, and Annie was in the lineup to get shot. And did you think it was so ironic and so brilliantly executed that he was made to kneel before an execution?
And then the music went again.
And then the music. You were talking about the Negan music.
Basically, in the chat between Ezekiel and Negan, they did like the Negan music from the episode where he kills Glenn and Abraham. And I noticed it, and I was like, why have they put that in? And then when he asks them to kneel, they play the music again, and I was like, oh, the music.
It was a really satisfying moment when they made him kneel, and I was like,
how much I like Negan, that was really good.
If I didn't know that he was going to be in a spin-off, I would have been like, that's where he's going to die.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been a good, like, it wouldn't have been an enjoyable death. It would have been an enjoyable death, but it wouldn't have been it would have been a satisfying death, but not an enjoyable death. Because I feel like there's so much more story to tell with Negan, but that would be the way.
Yeah. Mm.
And it was just brilliant, and I thought it was really good. The only problem I had with that is that no one from the original lineup was there to witness it.
That's what I was saying.
That's what really pissed me off.
Isn't it so ironic that no one who was there when Negan told them to kneel was there?
Like, who's still alive in that? Aaron,
Rosita,
Maggie, Eugene, Daryl, Rick and Michonne, obviously, but they're not in the show. So those 5, and those 5, Aaron's off.
Gallivanting.
We'll talk about Aaron later.
Yeah.
Maggie and Rosita and Daryl were all in Alexandria. They just weren't there to witness that moment.
I think Daryl was.
No, Daryl wasn't there.
Daryl was behind the...
Yeah, but he snuck in at... Oh, was he behind the windmill? Yeah, but he still wouldn't have witnessed it if he was behind the windmill. Because they were in front of the windmill. But either way, it was a very satisfying moment, and I'm glad he didn't die, because, like I said, there's a lot more story.
Do you know what?
But
do you know what? I just want someone to die. Sorry.
Okay, we'll get on to who I thought should have died in this episode. And...
Are we going to have mixed opinions and have an argument about it?
I don't think so. And I can tell. I'll tell you why later. Okay. But essentially, so then Ezekiel decides to go and stand in solidarity, and then the rest of them go and stand in solidarity, and then the warden's like,
"Excuse me, get back behind the guns."
To be fair, I thought that was a really beautiful moment.
It was good, but I was also like, babes.
It made me emotional, actually, like a little bit, because I thought, after everything Ezekiel said, he was willing to put his life on the line. And I think that was the moment that I think he realised, Ezekiel, how much Negan had changed. So, essentially, they all stood in the lineup, and then there was a guard that decided to put down his arm. Put down his gun, because the warden had denied his transfer notice. Because he wanted to go back and see his family because his brother's dying. Which is fair. I'm like, yeah, fair enough. That's fair enough. But he wasn't allowed. And then Negan tapped into that because he noticed it. Yeah. And then he made sure to call him out whilst he was pointing a gun at him, whilst he was lined up. I thought that was really impressive.
I liked that. I like that guard.
Yeah, that guard is nice. I like him. He's all right. But my problem now remains with the fact that we've got Maggie and Carol. They snuck in. There were some really satisfying moments where they took out guards. I was really happy with that.
You know, when they walk in and shoot the guard straight away, I was like, yeah.
I loved it. Brilliant. And then they found Herschel, but none of the other kids.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
I'm so confused about where they all are.
Yeah, because they've searched everywhere. So I'm really confused. And why was Herschel in Alexandria, but none of the rest of them are?
Yeah, that's what...
It's very confusing at the moment. I wonder whether they're back at the Commonwealth.
Probably.
And they were never actually taken in the first place. And Herschel's only there because he wasn't in the Commonwealth when they were taken.
Take Mabila? And not all of her children?
But they've taken all of the parents.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's my point.
Right,
yeah. You see.
Yeah.
So I it was nice to see Nabila, to be fair.
I know. I was like,
but then I was also like, Nabila, like, don't die, don't die.
Yeah.
Oh, Ezekiel was literally standing like this in front of her. It was so funny.
Literally, I was like, Nabila, so and then I was like,
you don't deserve to be here. Maybe you should have gone with Jerry.
Yeah, I was like, well, maybe not.
Well, yeah, maybe not. But. So yeah, the last thing we need to talk about is Rosita, because she went a little bit psychotic when she found out that her baby wasn't in Alexandria.
You know that quote that's like, I don't oh my god, that one that Lady Gaga says, it's like, I don't even know.
Where's it from?
It's like an interview where she's like, I don't like.
So what was the quote?
It's, I don't believe in the justification of murder, but I do believe in the empowerment of women.
Gotta love Lady Gaga. Iconic woman.
Right, but like,
it was an impressive moment. So essentially when the warden took Kelly hostage.
Yeah, and then
but then Daryl stabbed him straight away. Was just like, nah.
No.
And then Rosita came out and was like, where's my baby? Where's my baby? And she then grabbed one of the guards that had turned and was literally holding him over the warden, like, where's my baby? Where's my baby? And then the warden said something that makes me very scared for Rosita. The warden said the words, "You will lose everything."
No, because I've said this from the beginning that she's going to die with Coco at the same time, so...
Rosita's going to die. Rosita's going to die. And it's going to be in the last episode as well.
And it's going to be tragic.
It's going to be tragic. It's going to be the most gut-wrenching, heartbreaking death ever.
Literally.
I don't think I'm ready for it.
No.
I genuinely don't think I'll be able to watch it.
Mm-mm.
But that's the end of that storyline, and then she let the Walker feast on him.
Did you like how in Negan's lineup he says, "Cut the other boy's eye out and feed it to his father," and then the guard eats the guy's eye?
I didn't really notice that, but
every little thing I'm like.
So, do you want to talk about Aaron's storyline next?
Yes.
Because that was a bit of a waste of time.
Yeah, it was. Again, why are they wasting this good character on he literally hasn't been in the episodes. Is he even gonna be with the main group?
by the end.
By the end? If they've taken this long to get to bloody Oceanside.
It is a bit ridiculous.
But, the only thing that I have to say is... I don't know what his name is. But Jacob from Fantastic Beasts is back.
Luke, yeah. Yeah.
That's his name. The only thing that I noticed was the fact that Aaron has Jesus' sword.
I did not notice that.
That was the only time I noticed it. He's probably had it for a while.
Probably, yeah.
But I wasn't paying attention.
I'll be honest.
I just don't care.
The storyline didn't really matter to me. It was nice to know what happened to storyline.
Where are they doing?
Oceanside. What?
Where are they walking to in the walk occurred? To Oceanside? To Alexandra?
I think they're going back to the Commonwealth. I don't know. I don't actually know where they're going.
Where are they going?
Because we saw one scene at the start with them, and that was them running away and meeting Luke.
And then the walker scene.
And then the walker scene right at the end.
And that was it.
We know what happens. We know what happens. I know what happens. Okay. We know what happens in the next episode because of fucking AMC Plus.
Thank you, AMC Plus.
But we know what happens with the Walker Horde, and I've got to say, like, them setting it up in this episode makes a lot of sense. But if I had just watched this episode, I wouldn't have been satisfied. But knowing it's leading somewhere, I'm like, okay, fair enough.
The fact that I know what's happened next episode
makes it worth it.
Yeah. And that shouldn't be the case.
It shouldn't be the case. No. Like there needs to be like I still can't work out like that. Oh, okay, hold on. Let's get words out. Right. So the most interesting part of that scene was when somebody dropped a knife. I don't know who the fuck dropped a knife, but then a walker picked it up, and I thought that was really cool. So they are doing more stuff with the variants, that's cool, but too little, too late. I'm glad that they didn't just confine it to that one episode.
Yeah.
Like, even if they'd have introduced them at the start of the season in the subway, like, that could have been really interesting.
Like with the walkers that slept and then they woke up. That would have been perfect.
Yeah. But that's my point. It's just like, I feel like it's too little too late with that storyline.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because all of those characters are actually quite interesting. But they've just been kind of...
Like, it's really good. They've like picked really good characters. And they've literally just went, right, you can all go to creep.
And you're just going to go on a mission to go nowhere and do nothing. Someone in my house is making very weird noises. So, essentially, that was that storyline. And then the only other storyline we got to talk about is Eugene's. And I'll be honest, Eugene should have died at the end of this episode. And I think that would have been a really dramatic and shocking way to end the episode.
Yeah.
Because imagine, picture this. So, we've gone through his trial. In fact, let's talk about his trial first. So, I thought the trial was really good. I was really impressed with it. The first part of it was Pamela giving her testimony, which I thought was fair enough. But it felt very one-sided. It felt very much like the judge was in her pocket and didn't really want to hear anything else. And as soon as Yumiko brought up the lottery ticket, she was like, nah, we're not talking about this. We're not talking about this. And I was like, but it's relevant. And then she was like, you doctored my son's voice. Bitch, we're in the apocalypse. We don't have that kind of... We don't have that time. We don't have time to do that. I'm sorry. So it was just a bit of a ridiculous moment. And then they tried to appeal to Mercer, which again, fair enough. But Mercer was never going to speak up.
No.
He wasn't. And that was sad. And I thought it was also quite shocking how he knew that Princess had disappeared
and
hadn't done anything. That was disappointing. But when we go back to the courtroom, Eugene gives a beautiful speech. Yeah. If there's one thing that this season's done really well, is give us brilliant speeches.
Yeah.
Yumiko's in last episode, or the episode before, I can't remember. Maggie and Carol's scene.
So many.
There's just been so many amazing speeches this season. A lot more than usual. Sometimes they come off really cringy.
Yeah.
Like, there have been some really bad ones, especially in season 7 and 8. But
that was season 7.
We don't talk about those seasons. But it's just been really good this season. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough to convince the judge or the jury. Was there a jury or was it just the judge? I don't know. But he did manage to convince the people because the people were outraged that he was getting killed. And
then Pamela's smile when she was like walking away after she just cried, I was like,
yeah, I was like, yeah. Do you know what? I'll say this. Pamela is actually a very good character.
Yeah.
It's taken me a while. I didn't warm up to her at first, but in the last 8 episodes, or the last 6, 7, she's been really good.
Yeah, she has been really good.
Like, she's just been on one ever since Sebastian died.
Yeah.
And I think
he should have died quicker.
No, I think he died at the right moment. Because if we had been introduced to Pamela straight away and she'd gone crazy, we wouldn't have had that, oh, she was normal and then she turned crazy. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. Whereas we'd have just known her as the crazy Pamela.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then, what else have I got? What else do I want to talk about that? Oh, yeah. Eugene should have died at the end of the episode.
At the end, though.
Mouse is going to save Eugene.
Yeah.
Which,
to be fair, if
is fair enough.
Turn around and shoot Eugene in that moment.
I genuinely thought he was going to get his guards to shoot the guards that were holding Eugene. Yeah. I thought that was what it was. Because he was like, time to fuck shit up. And I was like, that's cool last line.
I think that most of the guards don't want to be there.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're very aware.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is if they had ended it with Eugene's death, then I think it would have justified why they're heading back to the Commonwealth this episode.
Yeah.
Or in the next episode.
So why are they going back?
I don't know.
Probably.
I'm assuming.
That's what I think.
Well, no, because Judith's with them.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they're going back, but I imagine they're going back to finish off Pamela, because as long as Pamela's in charge, they can't have Alexandria. They can't have their communities back.
True.
Until there's somebody else in charge.
How long is the last episode? An hour and a half?
The last episode is about an hour, because it's an hour and a half in broadcasting, but that's about 25 minutes of breaks. So it's going to be a longer episode, which is fair enough. I'm more than happy with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
But it's not as long as I was expecting.
No,
I wanted it to be an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
But it's not. Which is fine.
Which is fine.
As long as they wrap everything up.
They can do a lot in 5 minutes. Have you not heard that saying?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. When you were saying 5 minutes, I was like, but it's an hour.
No, I mean, like, they could do
they did a lot in this episode.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and they're doing a lot in next episode as well. So there's a lot of shit to get done. And I'm really impressed with what they're doing so far. Now, there have been a couple of slow episodes in this batch.
Yeah.
But this was not one of them.
Really good episode.
This was a really good one. But yeah, I think if they'd have ended the episode with Eugene dying and it could have been like a public execution moment, like literally like they were going to say, I think that would have been like, because everyone's waiting for something to happen to stop it and it doesn't. And you're just sat there like,
oh, shit.
I've just watched him get murked. Like, it's just not something that I expected them to do.
Which they didn't.
But they didn't. So I was like, oh, okay. I expected him to get saved. So,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, that was the episode. Yeah. I haven't got any spin-off news that's come out in the last week.
I've got news that we have to talk about after we press end. Because we need to talk about what's happening in the next episode.
Oh, we do. Yes. Where there a lot of shit happens in the next episode. And oh Jesus, I'm not ready to actually watch it in full. I've only seen clips, but I'm not ready to watch it with all of the
context.
The context. So I'll be very interested to see what happens in the last 2 episodes. I'm more at peace with it ending now than I was at the start of this batch of 8.
To be fair,
because I feel satisfied with what we've been given.
Yeah.
Whereas I didn't feel satisfied at the start.
A lot of people have said speeches to each other. They've done stuff, which is fine.
There's still a Jerry and Ezekiel reunion that I'm waiting for. And that's pretty much it. I don't think there's any other characters that I want to have a last moment together.
Michonne.
Yeah, no, Rick and Michonne are going to be in the last episode, 100%.
They fucking better be. 100%. Or I'm going to be raging.
100%. If they aren't,
I'm gonna be so pissed off.
I'm going to be upset. But if they're not, then I'm equally not going to be upset because we're seeing them anyway. If we were never going to see them again, then I wouldn't be. I'd be pissed off. Yeah. But we are seeing them again in.
But I feel like they definitely have to be in it. Sorry, but
I think they do. I think they have to be.
It would be.
They're going to meet RJ. Or Rick's going to meet RJ. Stop. Right. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed.
That's why he has the hat on. Anyway, let's turn it off.
Oh my god. we're just remembering all these different things. But it's mad because you know the trailer for the last 8 episodes? There's still about
so many bits.
There's still about 20 shots that we haven't seen.
Yeah. Everything was Rosita and Coco, right?
Yeah, we haven't seen that with the ladder yet. I'm very scared. I'm wondering whether they filmed a couple of shots and just put it in for the bants.
Yeah, because in the actual trailer, she's jumping to a window, not climbing up a ladder.
But she might fall.
To what?
I don't know.
Exactly. She might fall to death.
Or she might grab onto a ladder and then have to start climbing up. I don't know.
But Bavarian walkers can climb, so that's a bit peak for her.
Fuck, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck's sake. I give up. I give up. It's all fucking shit.
I'm trying to save this character. I give up.
CBA. Right. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next Monday. No, next Wednesday. It's because we're recording it on a Monday.
Yeah, sorry.
I will see you guys next Wednesday for another episode of The Walking Dead before the finale. Keep ranting. Bye.